Buenos nachos, amigos.
Something interesting is happening in crypto right now.
How low do you think Bitcoin goes in this cycle right here?
I think it's pretty stable where it is right now. I mean, most of the liquidation selling is out of the system. I think we should rally from here.
And Bitcoin is literally hovering around $70,000. Large investors are quietly buying again, and global markets are starting to pay attention.
You now have the biggest Bitcoin ETF. So what happened here?
I have very strong views, but that doesn't mean I'm not wrong. By having strong views, you have to test yourself and ask yourself. And in my role, I see thousands of clients a year. I have governmental leaders, and we have these conversations. And my thought process always evolves.
Most people think the market right now is boring.
Buenos nachos, amigos.
But when you start looking at the information coming out over the last couple days, a very different story starts to appear.
So today, I'm pleased to announce that the SEC's persistent failure to provide clarity on this question is over. As we speak, the Commission is implementing a token taxonomy and investment contract interpretation, and you should find that in your inbox or if you look on the website when you get home. Our interpretation, which is grounded in existing law and informed by extensive public input, establishes 4 asset categories that are not deemed to be securities. So digital commodities, digital collectibles, digital tools, and payment stable coins under the Genius Act. With these categories in place, the interpretation then clarifies that only one crypto asset class remains subject to securities laws, namely digital securities, which are traditional securities that are tokenized. This distinction returns the SEC to its core mission and statutory authority of protecting investors involved in securities transactions. We're not the Securities and Everything Commission anymore. So, thank you.
First, let's zoom out for a second. Bitcoin is sitting around the 70K mark, which is already incredible when you remember something. Not that long ago, Bitcoin was under $1,000. So the fact that it's holding this high tells us something very important. Demand for Bitcoin is still extremely strong. Look at this. You can see that the money continues to flow into Bitcoin investment funds. These funds allow large investors to buy Bitcoin through the traditional finance system. And every time money flows into these funds, they have to actually buy Bitcoin. Now, there's a lot of big money coming into Bitcoin, and this is one of the biggest changes in crypto over the last few years. Large financial institutions are starting to treat Bitcoin like a serious asset.
Already taken out a lot of speculation. So to me, I think our bet would be markets are actually going to lift through the end of the month, that we're going to actually be positive for March and maybe hit 7,300. Later in the year is when we think of bear market.
Instead of just individuals buying crypto, now Wall Street can participate too. When you see numbers like this, it means large amounts of capital are still entering the market. And that's something many people underestimate, because the market might look quiet, but behind the scenes, money is still moving. Interest rates remain high. Markets around the world are uncertain. And when uncertainty rises, investors start looking for assets that can hold value. For decades, that asset was gold. But now, some investors are starting to look at Bitcoin in the same way. Some analysts are even saying money is starting to move away from traditional safe haven assets and into digital ones, which is why Bitcoin continues to stay in the spotlight. Some companies continue to buy very, very large amounts of Bitcoin. And we're not talking about small purchases, guys. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars at a time. When companies do this, it usually means they believe Bitcoin will become more valuable over the long term. Businesses typically don't make moves like this unless they believe in the future of the asset.
Do you see a world with stimulus checks next year? I know that Trump and Besant have spoken about it. Do you think it's coming?
They will buy anything to get through this midterm. It is the most important game, because don't forget, this government is backed by the technologists, and they've said they need rates to go lower. And that's for two reasons. One, they want mortgages down, but the other reason is interest payments on the debt need to be at the same as GDP. I've talked about this a lot in the Everything Code. And GDP growth, let's say in 2026, maybe 3.5% or 3% or 2.5%, the trend rate of growth, take an average over time, and interest rates are too high still. So they have to jam interest rates lower, stimulate the housing market, then push liquidity into the system, which stimulates all of the market.
Also, what's interesting is that public interest still feels relatively calm, right? A lot of people are still unsure about crypto. Many people still think the market is risky. But historically, guys, some of the biggest moves in crypto happen when sentiment is quiet, just like this. Moments like this are often when long-term investors quietly position themselves. And then suddenly, the market wakes up. So the big picture. When you put everything together, here's what we're seeing right now. Bitcoin is literally holding strong around 70 to 75K. Large investors are still entering the market. Companies are continuing to accumulate. Growing global attention towards digital assets is happening still. And remember, guys, Bitcoin is still a relatively young technology. It's only been around 15 years. Compare that to the internet, which took decades to fully transform the world. So the real question becomes, are you watching the early stages of the next big move in crypto? Or is the market simply preparing for another period of volatility? Nobody really knows for sure, but one thing is clear. Crypto continues to evolve, and the people who stay informed tend to be the ones who benefit the most over time. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more simple crypto updates like this, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, because the market moves fast and things can literally change overnight. I'll see you guys in the next one.